Okay, this should be streaming through to YouTube now, so fingers crossed. Um, right. So let's let's do a quick recap on my weekend or my weekend. Um, I had a lovely day out yesterday on the West Somerset Railway. Lovely day out right up until my legs started giving out on me. So anyway, but I did get quite a few books, which I thought I'd share with you because they're mostly modelling related. Just digs his way through them. Lols. Yeah, no, that's it. That's pretty much it. No, that isn't. That definitely is, and that definitely is, and that probably isn't. So we have got 3 books here, and this is the joys of visiting secondhand bookshops at on museums and things or whatever, and that is that we've got. Oh no, hang about my stupid. My stupid. I can see this one isn't going to stay up today because we've lost the link to the. We've lost the link to the second camera here, which is annoying. So let's have a look. Dum ba dum ba dum. Bear with me a sec, folks. I'm just trying to work out what is going on here. Dum ba dum ba dum ba dum ba dum. Right, okay, we've got that there, and we've got no link through to our program here. So yeah, YouTube is a better platform. It is a better platform right up until the point when the streaming service decides to talk to it. Let's try this one now. There we go. That's more like it. And of course, everything's upside down as normal. So, excuse me. Oh God. Oh dearie me. YouTube is lying there. Yeah, but we haven't got. Now I can't figure out. You can all hear me, can't you? Oh, for goodness sake! We've only been doing this for 2 years, and now suddenly we can't do this properly. Just bear with me a sec, folks. I'm just going to go and do some technical stuff here. So be with you in a second. Oh, this is frustrating. This is just not working tonight. Yeah, talk among yourselves. Oh, it's just so annoying. Nope, it's not letting me do it. So You could turn it around. Yeah, I could turn it around, but oh, God, I hate this. Right, be back in a sec, folks. Right, we're back, and we're just going to try and work out why this is not streaming properly again. Oh, this is so frustrating. Right, start virtual camera. Yeah, everybody have a sing along. You can all hear me, can't you? Ah, do you know what? We're gonna bear with me a sec, folks. We're just gonna try one more thing here. So, un momento, per favore. Yes, the hills are alive with curse words tonight, I can tell you. Oh, let's try one last thing. Dum. Good job I'm not keeping this one up tonight. Honest to goodness me. Yeah, everybody stand upside down. That'll help considerably. Um, oh, for goodness sake. As at this stage, I should just cut and run, but I'm not going to. Yeah, this is what happens when scrolls down, hits Australia. True, very true. Um, it's a St. Patrick's Day hangover in the system. Well, yeah, possibly. Um, goodness me, I've lost. I don't know what's happened here, folks. I've lost all the controls on my thing. So I'm just going to quit out again and we'll try again. Right, let's try again. Nope, still not doing it. Do you know what, folks? We are not going to do this. We are going to. Goodness me. Yeah, that's JM. Sound of JM banging his head under the bench because I've lost all of the controls here, which is ridiculous. Oh, there we go. Hello, everybody. Right, let's try this again. There we go. Hallelujah. Right. Well, that's all we've got time for tonight, folks. So we'll see you next week. So, right. Is it just a coincidence that Drew is absent? Probably a wise choice on his part. Anyway, let's try again. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this interesting morning. Right. One of the books, this better be worth it now. One of the books that I picked up on the West Somerset Railway yesterday is this one, which is Painting and Lining in the Smaller Scales by Steve Barnfield. I'll just pop the camera up a bit more there. There we go. This is printed by the Irwell Press. Goodness me. 1994. That's 29 years ago. But as ever with these kind of books, there's always something in them that you can pick up on and learn, and it's quite interesting how they talk about weather to weather, which is a perennial question with so many modelers these days, and making your own spray booth, preparing for paint. I'm just going to start reading through the chapters here, but there is some interesting stuff here. Cleaning the model with Jif, using model strip to get rid of the old paintwork on a pre-painted loco body and everything. This dates the book a little bit. Holt's Duplicolor and Plasticoat non-sanding super primer. This is obviously before the advent of Halfords, or the very early days of Halfords, and also the airbrushes as well. I mean, what we got here, we've got a Pash VL double action, and also a Badger 150 and 175. Yeah, I remember that. Frostbite. And I've had several of these over the years, and best way of describing them is that they're like little Volkswagens that across the workbench and then take your airbrush with them. Anyway, so it kind of goes into the basics of paints and thinners, and then there's some practical projects here. But it's one of those things. There are probably bits in this book that you think to yourself, well, I know that already. And so you just kind of like skip through it. But there's always something in one of these books that whether or not it's because you've forgotten it or you've just moved past it, I don't know. But there are always things that you can kind of pick up on and learn about. So I don't think any technique ever really goes out of date. And then we've got articles here on lining, which I've got to admit I've never really got on with bow pens and whatever, but I'm sure I can. And yeah, I mean, that's really, I'm going to say old fashioned because that makes me sound as I'm being dismissive about it, but it is a tried and tested technique for doing lining and things. And yeah, so this is a good book. It talks about decaling and things, but it's a good book. And like I say, there is always something in a book like this that you will pick through it and you will suddenly find something and go, do you know what? I never thought of doing that. Or yeah, so I mean, for the hefty outlay of £1, I thought that was absolutely top dollar. So yeah, like that very, very, very much. Needs to have a quick drink. Let's just have a quick look through the comments here. The comments, which are probably kind of like get off the air. Yeah, Ofer Cohen says we owe us 30 minutes. Yes, I probably do, but honestly, you really don't want 30 more minutes of this. I'm just having a look. In the book, what are they using Ronseal varnish for? Well, in the book, they're using Ronseal as a overall finishing varnish. Don't be put off. Here we go. Don't be put off from experimenting with varnishes not necessarily associated with the hobby. Recently, I have found that Ronseal varnishes are particularly good. And yeah, and they've got that was cherry paints, which I seem to remember a lot of people raging about at the time. Made up in Scotland, and they did an eggshell varnish and a clear gloss varnish. So yeah, it's like I say, these books are both out of date and in date as well, if you get my drift. So they are really worth it. And like I say, I picked this up from the where was that? That was the bookshop at Watchet railway station on the West Somerset Railway. And yeah, always happy to dip in and get books like this, especially when they're only £1. So anyway, so that was that one. Slides it across the workbench. Then I picked up this, which was £1.50. PSL Model Railway Guides 3 and 4 combined, structure modelling and scenery by Michael Andres, who was a name from my childhood. I always seem to remember him being a particularly good modeler when it came to this kind of thing. You'll recognize the layout because this is very, very similar to the Airfix guides that Patrick Stevens Limited did. So yeah, this is absolutely fabulous stuff. Now, I can't remember whether I've actually already got this book or not, but at £1, I just thought, well, if I've already got it, then I can pass it on to somebody else who would want it. So, you know, anyway, thing here on materials: balsa wood, hardwood, drawing paper, plastic card. Then we have some examples of projects that are not so much in the book, but projects that are talked about in the book. And what have we got there? Yeah, N-gauge stuff, cardboard buildings, which are the likes of Super Quick and whatever. I always remember Super Quick were actually not that bad. My father used to build them, and he used to reinforce them with balsa wood, and they actually ended up looking not bad. I was never a great big fan of them, but you know what? Railway modelers still use them and still go on, still rant about them. So they've stood the test of time, really. And they got some stuff here about scenics and Airfix Fort there, I think. Oh no, that's Linker. That's the Linker system. So yeah, this again, it's a little bit dated in terms of some of the stuff in it, but actually a lot of it won't be. And there's the famous Airfix engine shed there, which I do believe you can still get from Dapol. Goodness me, Taunton East. That's one of the stations I actually passed through to get to Taunton in order to get to no, I didn't. I drove past it. That's right. I thought I was going on the train down there. COVID brain fog, people. Now, that's one of the stations that I drove past when I was going down to Bishop's Lydeard. Now I remember. My name's Jonathan. Hello. Yeah, it's so, yeah, there's some stuff here on some basic scenic stuff. And this is two books that have been combined into one. So, but yeah, fantastic stuff. Like I say, it's a little bit behind the times compared to what we do these days. Certainly the presentation is it's a little bit kind of old school, but there are still things that when you read through these, you pick up on something. And I wouldn't be without these books, to be honest with you. And yeah, so that was another one of my purchases on the West Somerset Railway yesterday. PSL Railway Guides, and that is number 3 and 4 combined structure modelling and scenery. Also, fantastic condition of this one. Goodness me, it looks like it hasn't been read. So yeah, like that one. And then we have another PSL book by Michael Andress on scenic railway modelling by Patrick Stevens. And this one kind of covers basic kind of layout design and layout construction. Excuse me. Oh, the meal. And guys, because I'm on my own in here, I'm just like, I'm boring myself. And yeah, it's all about planning your layout. I mean, it's basic stuff, but there's stuff here which can still be utilized in today's modeling scene, regardless of whether you're doing model railways. There's stuff here which can be used for military modeling, for AFVs, to some extent even aircraft. And one of the things that I do want to do, and I will try and pull my finger out and actually get it done this year, is to actually do like a small layout with some, you know, some basic kind of buildings, and you know, try and combine military modelling with railway modelling. But yeah, what a splendid little book to pick up for. What did I pay for this? £2, £1, £2, something like that. Cheap as chips, really is. And I do think that dipping into these older books and just kind of looking at the art of modeling from 30, 40 years ago, not so much the standard, but essentially the same principles still apply to modeling these days, whether you're building, like I say, aircraft, tanks, cars, figures, you name it, the same principles apply. And I also think that these kind of books these kind of books are what a lot of us had our entry into the hobby. So all in all, I think the total outlay for those 3 books was, I think it was about a £5. Yeah, I think it was a £5. And that to me was £5 of my earth money well spent. Absolutely brilliant. I'm going to keep these in the workshop, and I'm just going to be dipping in and out of them every now and then, just to kind of refresh my my roots and refresh my modeling basics. We got some comments here. One of the comments is that my Mac is about to go to sleep, so bear with me. I need to go upstairs and go and get the power cable. So bear with me whilst we put some music on for you, and we'll be back in the next few minutes. So bye for now. And we're back. Sorry about that, folks. Battery dying on the thing and everything and blah, blah, blah. Right, let's have a look at some of the comments. Probably get off. Russell Taylor, yeah, that's a very good point, Russell. He says, I'm guessing that playing Rush would incur a copyright violation. You have no idea how touchy YouTube and Facebook are when it comes to copy music. It's just really annoying. Anyway, so no, there won't be any Rush or anything like that, I am afraid. Right, Steve, here's a good one. Right. Steve Moore says, I'm in danger of getting a bit of modeler's block. I tried to finish a kit for Club Meet last week and completely it up. Well, Steve, I have, to be honest with you, I have yet to finish a model this year, which is I've got several on the go here, but yeah, I need to pull my finger out, frankly, because I've got projects that I want to get on with, and that it ain't going to happen. Well, they are going to happen, but part of the problem is, get the tiny violin out, folks, is because I am suffering with long COVID. I honestly, I get to a certain point of the evening and that's it. My energy levels gone completely. I'm also having to, I really am milking it here tonight. I'm also having to work longer hours during the day in order to try and play catch up with work, and also working weekends as well. In fact, this Saturday is the first Saturday in 2023 that I wasn't actually doing any work. I was doing some work today though, but it's just been, I don't want to say it's been hell, because I enjoy my work and I love my work and I'm very grateful to do the work that I do. But in terms of trying to manage the workload with this long COVID and a couple of other medical conditions, it's just been murder. It really has. We'll get over it. We'll, through sheer bloody mindedness, we'll push our way through the other end. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the nights getting a little bit warmer and a little bit lighter as well. But anyway, you haven't tuned in to hear me complain. That's why friends ring me up so they can hear me complain. Steve says my entire output for a month is 144th scale Harrier. Yeah, well, it's more than mine. Let's put it that way. And Lox 9 channeling the great Martin Kovac. Don't just collect kits, build them. Which I would agree with. Brian Wilton. Sorry, Brian Wilton. I keep wanting to call you Brian Willerton, which is a railway on the station on the West Somerset Railway. So if I do call you Brian Willerton, I do apologise. He says, I am working on the Edouard Tempest and have come to the conclusion that the aircraft is a nicer shape than the Spitfire and Hurricane. Controversial. Let us know how you get on with the decals in that kit, because I take it this is one of the newer Edouard kits with the new decals and things, whatever, because they're not. Drew's having a nightmare with them at the moment, and I've got to say they don't look brilliant, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Perhaps we'll have an Edouard month and we're all going to build something by Edouard, something relatively recent by Edouard, and see how we get on. I think if people do that, then yeah, I don't know. We'll work around that. Yeah, and he says Drew kicked off on the Edouard forum this week. Well, I don't think he kicked off, but I think he was making a he's making a point, but he wasn't kind of like being a bore about it. Anyway, Simon Lewis, Craig Sargent says, Q pile onto Edward. No, I'm not going to do that, Craig. I think they're a great company, and I think they do great kits. I just think they've somehow wandered off the straight and narrow with the decals at the moment, and not a case of refusing to see them, but just having a blind side to just how poor they are in terms of a product, which is a shame because, like I say, Edward do some of the best, if not the best, aircraft kits out there. So we'll just Steve Moore says, oh, very valid criticism. They just don't seem to like it too much. Possibly. Brian Wilton says, aftermarket decals and painting them. So that's his Edward Tempests sorted then. James Ray says he's done 2 platoons of World War II British infantry plus 4 Shermans in 156 scale as a commission. Anybody else out there tried building 156 scale kits? I've tried a couple of them now. I think they're great, and especially the Rubicon stuff. I think they're brilliant. But some people don't like it because it's like well, it's almost 148 scale, but then they just kind of go, no, I don't want to do that. So yeah, I mean, Rubicon they've got some cracking kits. They really have. So anyway, let's have a look. Right, Tony Surridge, this is a good one. He says, has everybody received their 135th scale ICM Sky Crane? I haven't, Tony, because I haven't ordered it yet. But I am waiting to see what other people, what their experiences are of it. From what I've seen, it's a mouth-watering project. It really is. Part of my problem is that I don't think I've got the time to devote to a big, long project like that. I'd love to do it, but I've got to time manage, especially as I'm behind this year on my other projects. So let's have a look. Crazy Loca says, basically, everybody questioning the decals choices, not the rest of the company products. So this is the Edward, the Edward controversy over their decals. So I say I'm a big fan of Edward, but goodness me, I wish they would do something about their decals. That's all I'm going to say on that before I get into trouble. Let's have a look. Andy King says, I finally binned a Kitty Hawk 148 scale Jaguar A this week. That's a shame. You'd think that a Jaguar kit that's been released in the first decade of the 21st century would be an improvement on the Hella kit, but is it? Jim Altergott says, not to say that Drew and Spencer are wrong, their complaints are valid. Yeah, I agree. I mean, the thing about the pair of them is they don't just kind of like for the sake of it. They will set out their case, and they will set out their case and illustrate it so that it completely kind of vindicates their position. And I agree with them. Those Edward decals are not, the current Edward decals are not, they just don't look great, I think is the best way of putting it. So anyway, we'll cross, like I say, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Crazy Loca says, haven't tried my hand at the new style of decals yet from Edward, so I'm steadily reading, watching, others' experiences. Yeah. And Russell Taylor, this is a good point. He says there are plenty of companies with worse decals than Eduard, but they make their choice of marking options such an important feature of their kits that it's hard to ignore the poor print quality. Yeah. Mm. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. But like I say, look, we haven't come here to bury Eduard this evening. Like I say, I'm a big fan of their kits. I mean, goodness me, they really do produce some of the best, if not the best, plastic out there. So okay, let's move on from Eduard Gate. Let's have a look. Bumper dum dum. Just going to have a quick look. Let's go back through some earlier comments. Bumper dum dum. Yeah, Simon Lewis, he says, I think we have a lot to learn from railway modelers with scenery. They really know their stuff. It's got to be said that when you look at some of the railway stuff that's being done, especially the oh god, I've forgotten the name of the company now. The people who do the little 3D scanned figures, I can't remember what they're called now. Anyway, them. Thank God we're not. Thank God we're not keeping this one. Is some of the photography on those shots and whatever is absolutely amazing. It's really, really quite. It's just incroyable, as the French would say. It's really, really, really top quality photography and whatever. Lox9 says, I see Mini Arts 135th Liefer Type 170V Pritzwagen farmer car is available on Scale Model Shop. Now, I'm just going to call that one up actually, because I've got to try and remember what that looks like. Mini Art, here we go. Mini, let's just do that. Mini Art Liefer 170p or £1.70p. There we go. Dum ba dum ba dum. Yes, yeah, that's that. It's that kind of commercial truck vehicle thing. Absolutely fabulous looking vehicle, really is. Yeah, it's another one of those mini art models that I'd love to. I'd love to build one, but just haven't got the time. I mean, we're trying to work to work this out the other day, that if on average a project at the moment is taking me at least a month to get out of the way, that means I've got 12 months of 12 months of projects to get done. Steve is under the right. Steve thinks a company has gone bust. No, I don't think they have, Steve. I'm not going to repeat what you're saying, but no, I don't think they have. So models to you, that's it. Yeah, that's their figures, and yeah, they're absolutely brilliant. Craig says, who has received their Qatari Spitfires? I haven't, because I haven't ordered one yet, but I'm waiting to see other people's impressions of it. So cheers, we did. Merry Christmas to everybody. Yeah, Mini Craft, not Mini Art, Mini Craft. That went bust. So yeah. And Simon Lewis says, so it'll be 12 months of mini art. It could be. It could be the way things are going, really. Just trying to think. Did I We did, yeah, we did look at that. I've forgotten where it's gone now. No, I've forgotten what I've done with it. Oh, COVID brain fog. COVID brain fog. I forget things I'm saying within seconds of me actually saying them. So Jim Aldercott says, in another life, I want to build all the models I will never get to in this lifetime. I would just like to have a life where I could build a model, frankly. And Michael Hooverling says, I have one. Bit disappointed with the detail. What kit's that, Michael? What one are we talking about? And Lox9 says, I'm also drawn to that Border Models 88mm Flak 37 with the figures that look very much like the poses in the Tamiya boxing. Okay. And James Ray says, Chris Nevard, Model Railways on Facebook. Model railway photography at its most superb. Right. Michael is saying the Qatari Spitfire, he was a bit disappointed with the detail. I don't know. I think it's... I'll wait and see. I'll wait and see. It's very easy for me to say I disagree, but then again, I'm doing that cardinal sin of disagreeing with somebody who's got the kit and I haven't got one. So there was nothing on it that looked kind of like wrong, but we'll wait and see. I need to get hold of one, and then I can give you my honest and unabashed opinion. So I'm just going to change the background here because we've got an annoying background, and that'll do. I'm just seeing what there is in here that I was going to talk about. I can't show you that because you're not allowed to see that. Anyway, let's have a look at the comments. We'll have a look at the comments, and then I think we will wrap this up for the night because I'm still very much under the weather from last night's episode of being under the weather. For those of you who don't know, I was coming back from Minehead, and I just really shockingly bad. I had to pull off the motorway in the end, have a cheese and onion sandwich, and I don't eat bread these days, and have half a pint of milk. And then I managed to pop in to see a friend, and she let me crash out on her sofa for an hour or so. But I've got to get this sorted out, folks, because it is starting to really impact on my ability to manage my days. I've got enough energy for work and an hour in the evening, but beyond that, that's it. I can't. Anyway, let's have a look. John Connolly says, hello guys, with the output of Ukrainian kits, is it possible to say they might win? I think possibly with the spirit, you'd like to think so. Yeah, absolutely. They are a tough bunch, let's put it that way. And Simon Lewis says, I know t-shirts have been mentioned before. Just an idea. Instead of one person doing the whole lot, how about a design we could purchase as a file and get it printed at a t-shirt shop? That's an idea, Simon. But I would say that if you want t-shirts, we can come up with a design, and then you can then order one, order them. I wouldn't mind doing t-shirts actually. Be the lowest selling t-shirt designs of all time, but yeah, we've been looking at that and thinking about doing t-shirts and things. So yeah, we'll have a think about that. We are also looking at expanding our merchandise range and having some other goodies for sale at Telford and other model shows as well. So yeah, and Simon's saying we could do it. We could do it for Ukraine. Let's go back and we'll go and have a look at that. We'll see what we were, what can be done. I think it's doable, but obviously there are logistics that we have to kind of sort out here. And Jared Watkinson, neighbour Jared, just over the hill there, he says, gotta say, you were on very good form on the Airfix and Chill last Monday. This evening too, back in the room. Oh, I don't know about that. That was good doing the Airfix and Chill with Moz. I think sometimes when I'm just out of my comfort zone, it's actually easier. So anyway, yeah, we'll try and do another one of those actually, and just it's easier for me to answer questions that people ask rather than me waffling like I'm doing here at the moment. What else have we got? I'm just seeing what other books did I pick up. No, these are not. Well, I got one on Britain's weirdest railways, but I think anybody who's ever been on our railways would agree that they're all pretty damn weird. I think that'll do for tonight, folks. I'm going to try and get back into the swing of doing some lives. Doing some lives from the workbench. We won't keep this one tonight. This has just been a complete and utter wreck of a show. Actually, hang about. We did talk about this the other night, didn't we? Yeah, we did talk about that, didn't we? Oh, fireworks going off. Got that from a little hobby shop in Clevedon, would you believe? It's ICM, it's snapped together, but it's not kind of like snapped together, if you see what I mean, because it is actually beautifully done in terms of the moulding and everything. I'll give you another précis of this, actually. Why not? Let's just go over for this. I mean, it is apparently really simple. Whoops-a-daisy. It is not a reissue of the Hasegawa kit. This is a brand new tool. And I mean, when you look at what's in the box, it doesn't look that complex, but it is involved. It is quite involved. But obviously, this was a vehicle driven by a nasty piece of work from the Second World War. I think we can get off the fence and call him that. But what have we got here? So we've got that scheme and we've got that scheme, and that's it. But for a small kit, as you can see, for a small kit and a snap-tight model, it's really quite involved. I mean, the instructions, I think up to stage 27 here. Then we've got and this is assembly with glue. So I think they actually give you 2 sets of parts and whatnot. It does look, yeah, that's the one I like the dark grey one. But I am going to get round to building this at some stage. Might even try doing it live on the internet. But yeah, I'm a big fan of ICM. They make some absolutely first-class kits, and I think they could probably do with our support at the moment. So watch this space. We'll see what we can do with that. I say I got that from a little craft shop in Cleveland, just down the road. $12.99. I think that's fantastic value for a new tool kit. So yeah, watch this space. Anyway, look, that'll do for now. Goodness me, I've wittered on for far too long now. Deja vu, says Tony Surridge. Well, I think it's worth having another look at it. Hobby Time says, "Hi JM, I'm trying to finish my RAF AWACS, but the decals are shot. Do you think Airfix might have some still?" No, I don't think they have. No, I'm trying to think who does aftermarket. No, I can't think who does aftermarket. Perhaps Extra Decal might do something, but no, they're not going to have that. I would be very surprised if they have any. And I think the chances of getting some, but you can all, I mean, don't let me put words into their mouths. You can by all means try them and see what they've got. But I don't think. Yeah, Simon Lewis says IPMS decal bank. That's a good point, Simon. Thank you. And Andy Brennan says combat kits did a set for the E3D. Actually, let me just have a quick look. Decals RAF E3. And I'm just having a look, and not a Robbie sausage, I'm afraid. Okay. No, I can't see anything that is currently available. So, but by all means, try asking around. There might be something available out there. Or try eBay. Yeah. Or do Steve Moore says, or do a NATO/OTAN version. Might be different engines. Will be different engines. Yeah. Hello, Greg Wibbs. He says, hello from Canada. Sorry, you joined a very bitty show tonight because we had some technical problems, me mostly, and yeah, we're a bit still trying to get up to speed. But what we will do is we'll try and do an extra show for you this week, possibly tomorrow night, actually doing some modeling. So yeah, we will see what we can do with this. I do need to actually get on with some modeling. So I think the best way of doing some modeling is to actually do some modeling with people watching. So anyway, look, sorry, this has been a bit of a stream of consciousness show tonight. It's not going to stay up. I'm very sorry about that. But then again, it's a mercy that it's not going to stay up. We will be back on Wednesday. Drew can't make it tonight because he's doing gigging and things, whatever. We do have some interesting interviews lined up for you. Plus, we're looking at getting Jennifer back on the show again. So we are working towards we're working towards something. Let's put it that way. No, we are working towards some interesting content. Anyway, shut up, man. I agree. Yeah, just get him off the air for God's sake. On that note, thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight. Goodness me. I mean, God, there's got to be something better you can do on a Sunday evening and watch, watch me having a meltdown on the internet. We will be back on Wednesday, but we might be back before then. Ooh. So until then, it just remains for me to say thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we'll see you very, very soon. Bye for now.